One of the greatest fighting game franchises of all time. Skilled, brutal, sexy, jacked fighters of all skill sets, protecting our world from muscle-bound apocalyptic warriors. Hell yeah core incarnate, and the GOAT video game movie theme to this day, not even a competition. And half the reason I chose my username back in the day. Also, while I love Sonya, Blade comes from this unfairly cool dude. As someone who's played every Mortal Kombat game since childhood in the 90s, even and it just being partially one of my inspirations along the way with everything else I've covered on this channel that inspires me to just work out and train to be my best. It always made me laugh how significantly the physiques have changed over the years. When you look at his contemporaries like Street Fighter or Tekken, majority of the time the size is relatively the same, just with updated 3D graphics. But since Mortal Kombat shifted from real actors being digitized to full 3D models, let's talk about how the physiques evolved over the years, but also which physiques would actually work best for real life combat based on the fighter's specific style. Are there pros or cons? Well, today let's break it down, and we're gonna look at 5 fighters, alright? Because if otherwise it would just be too long. So we're gonna look at Liu Kang, of course, we're gonna look at Johnny Cage, because, you know, Mortal Kombat 2 just came out, and then we're gonna look at, of course, Scorpion and Sub-Zero, you can't do that, and then Jax, because I'm legally obligated to, alright? I got my username from him. Starting off, Mortal Kombat from MK1 to Ultimate MK3 used to use actual martial artist actors to digitize and add to the game. This was great as these were actual stuntmen and women doing these incredible feats of martial athleticism. Real proportions and natty muscles kicking ass. You love to see it. As these people were real martial artists, their physiques worked exceptionally well for the fighting style specific characters had to use that were just amped up with superpowered brutalities and fatalities. Then we moved on to Mortal Kombat 4 all the way to Armageddon, and this is when MK stopped scanning real people, and in doing so was not limited to human limits. So basically this is when everything became a lot more stylized artistically. MK4 was still relatively realistic, but then Deadly Alliance and on greatly varied. I mean, Jax was always the swole one, but then now we got freaking Johnny Cage, Scorpion, and Sub-Zero all looking like they ready to compete against the Gobneta with their freaking shoulder sizes. Now personally, I always loved this style because I really love the stylized content we got in the early to late 2000s, especially with Mortal Kombat, but this is when Mortal Kombat, in the games at least, start to lean more into the more fantastical nature of the series. Because at this point in time, an ancillary material besides the 2 live action movies and the TV series Conquest, damn, I have not thought about Conquest in decades, I need to rewatch it. We had the animated movie The Journey Begins from the 90s where Johnny, Liu, Scorpion, and Sub-Zero all spent some extra time pumping iron apparently. We had Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm on Fox Kids, classic, and then we had tons of comic books and action figures. The 80s, 90s, and early 2000s just love giving characters gains. I mean, just look at the Luke Skywalker action figure from back then. But it was clear the hell yeah core formula of bodybuilder buff muscles, fighting, and hyped up music boosted them. Also why these dubbed DBZ movies and specials from the early 2000s hit so hard. I mean, adding Deftones to Cooler or Pantera to Broly was just a stroke of genius, and if you don't agree,
well, good for you, you're wrong.
But after that, we got the full physique inflation phase of Mortal Kombat from MK vs. DC to MK9, X, 11, and back to MK1. Everyone looking superhero shredded with boulder shoulders and slutty, tight little waists. These became more realistic for a majority of the characters in the sense that the proportions looked more like that of a real person who lives in the gym 24/7 and diets strictly. If you remember my old video on physique levels I made back in the day, then they are all just peak level 4 physiques at this point. But now let's just take a look at the 5 fighters we mentioned earlier.
Liu Kang.
Liu started off like a Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan type, athletically fit, mobile, ripped, and able to use his speed, explosiveness, power, and skill to overcome fearsome opponents. As the story progressed, our man kept getting more and more yoked. Big old chest, you know Katana would love to motorboat. Brrr. And honestly, someone who looks like they would spend more time trying to compete in a physique competition than actually try to spend hours mastering martial skills and techniques. Do not get me wrong, I love Jack Liu Kang, though I'm still mixed on him becoming this god figure later on. But to be honest, I think realistically, based on what we know Liu Kang does and how he trains, his older body type would work more effectively for fighting realistically. That's not to say you can't be a big and beast martial artist or anything like that. Just look at Michael Jai White, who is the real deal. But I think how Robin Chow looked in the first Mortal Kombat movie hit the perfect in-between balance for what we know about Liu as a character.
Johnny Cage.
Funny enough, I think Johnny had the reverse effect of Liu. He went from fit actor to lay off the Negatropicana, dude, geesh, to back to being just an athletically fit actor again. Cause he kind of reminds me of an actor who got on the juice for a role and realized, this is bad for me, like just health-wise and stuff like that. So he hopped off it and just got back to his OG self of being, fit again. And he looks great and it works very well for the Johnny that we know and love.
Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
The breakout characters of the franchise and two of the most iconic ninjas in the cultural zeitgeist, starting off as palette swap clones of each other with opposite abilities. They were just lean ninjas, not mass monsters, which made total sense because ninjas are all about speed, agility, and stealth. The bigger you are, the bigger target you are, and ninjas don't play fair, they take advantage of that. But not gonna lie, muscle gains on ninjas does go hard. Oh, so each of them bulked up to these heavy muscle brawler type builds. It's like if Yoel Romero started wearing their fits. While it is most definitely a badass look, and they do have superpowers, they are still primarily ninjas, so it's like, look, y'all big asses ain't sneaking up on people realistically. I'm sorry, man. Like, they'd have great power, but their whole thing is literally being built like lethal assassins who sneak in and take care of you. So I don't think these would work as well for certain objectives in real life if they were built like this. But of course, again, they got superpowers, so fuck me, right? My man! First of all, I gotta say this. I vastly prefer older Jax to newer Jax because his arms were a choice. He thought he needed the mechanical enhancements to win fights after Mortal Kombat 2, when in reality, all he needed was himself and to prove he could still handle business. Like, I don't give a damn if this movie or show is considered trash, but it always inspired me how in MK Annihilation and in Defenders of the Realm, Jax realized he can still fight and win without the mechanical arms, and it was his internal strength within that was most important. Again, half the reason I chose my username was because of that damn scene. Now, Jax was always the big, strong guy, so as the series progressed like the others, they just amplified certain attributes, like especially those arms at times, especially in MK9 before he loses his arms. Dude looks like he has a condition. But there's more to a man than just his strength. In some of the games, I feel like they lost that concept, though I really did love how they handled younger Jax in Mortal Kombat 11. And Jax's build reminds me of just several heavyweight boxers with very powerful punches. Now, the reason they changed it was, like, let's just face it, muscle gains are badass. It just amplifies the power fantasy. Majority of people still picture themselves like, I can breathe! I can fight! In their day-to-day lives, so it makes sense some people would see that and be like, oh yeah, I think that's so hype. But there's also people who get this mindset of just like, oh well, if I don't get built like that, does that mean that I'll never be able to be like a badass or strong or anything like that? And that's just not the case. Look at this photo here. Just like in Mortal Kombat, everybody is different and reacts differently. We all have different stats as humans, and that's great because it'd be boring if everyone was built exactly the same. Like I talked about in this short here, there's tank type body types, there's agile mobile type body types, and then there's like, you know, in-betweeners who are a master of neither but adept at multiple things. Cause like I always say, specialists will have like an advantage when it comes to certain things. Usain Bolt will always dust Brian Shaw in a foot race, and Brian Shaw will always be able to lift more than Usain Bolt. You cannot be the best at everything unless you legit have Captain America Super Serum or a Heavenly Restriction or some Saiyan Viltrumite blood in your system. Me personally, I'm a Spider-Man type because I'm explosive, I can run fast, I can run long, I have like, you know, good punching, I can jump really high, and I have good stamina with redheads and cosplayers apparently. But I absolutely suck at heavy lifting, alright? Like that's just not my forte. So I always stick to moderately heavy weights or high reps. So find a routine that actually works for your specific body type. I actually made something that's helped a lot of people out. You can check it out in the pinned comment down below. But that's how MK evolved, and honestly, I'm still enjoying this franchise even if it has some hit and misses here and there. Also, please, Eddie, baby, boobala, darling, give me my Shaolin Monks freaking remake. I need it. I physically need it. Thank you to all my patrons on screen now. If you made it this far in the video, type get over here, as it shows me who watched all the way to the end. And tell me two things. One, who's your favorite Mortal Kombat character? And two, which body type are you? Are you a tank type build? Are you a agile leaner type build? Are you a in-betweener, you know, master of neither, but like you're very adept at a lot of things and stuff like that? Like, how are you, like, you know, perceived in that regard? Like, what are you based on? Be sure to hit that bell icon, subscribe, and hit the like button or dislike button if you hated the video. And also, if you want a coach to help you reach your goals, just click the link down below. We'll talk on Zoom and I can see if my services can help you. I've been doing this since 2010. And then also, if you need like just a group of people to help you join to get like stronger and fit, join my dojo, all right? I started a dojo. I feel like a true sensei now, so everyone's getting great results in there. I love to see it. And then yeah, no, I'm happy that you're watching and I appreciate you here. And if you want more nerdy fitness content, I've been doing this for a while, so just click the videos on link now. I got tons of stuff here for you. And remember, like I always say, keep calm, booyah on, and don't forget, Muay Thai. Now go get some gains that'll help you kick some ass. Yeah! But not too brutally so you don't get arrested. Later.